The true and thrilling story of Sadhu Sundar Singh, the Apostle of the Bleeding Heart. The priceless gem of the Punja. I am employed in the forest department. Coming down the mountain one day, I saw a Sadhu coming up the ascent. He had a few books in his hand and a blanket on his shoulder. He strode along in the midday sun, the perspiration rolling like water down his face. At first, I thought to join him and have a little conversation, but then I said to myself, I will see what he will do and where he will go. A little later, he entered a village, and after wiping his face, he sat down upon a log and began to sing. When we were drowning in sin, Christ from heaven came to save, etc. I, an enthusiastic Arya, it's Arya, became furiously angry, and when he began to preach, I could scarcely refrain myself. At the same time, a man sprung forward from the crowd, and with a blow knocked the holy man from the seat headlong upon his face, hurting his hand badly and cutting his cheek. That brave man rose up and bound his hand with his turban and did not say a word. With the blood flowing down his face and tears mingling with the bloody stream, he began to sing a song of joy and praise to God, and then prayed God's blessing upon us. Those tears of the holy man dropped like pearls upon the ground. One day they will come forth from the ground as real pearls. What? Is it possible that blood and tears of such a spiritual person should be fruitless? Never. I, who was once a stalwart member of the Arya Samja, though I have not yet been baptized, yet I have been drawn out of the well of contempt and brought to the fountain of life. We may not know where Swami Maharaj Sundar Singh may be at this time, but that Kirpa Ram, who threw your honor down, is now in search of you and wants to know where his guru, teacher, has gone. He has received baptism at the hand of Reverend Mr. Jones, although he greatly desired to be baptized with that wounded hand, but could not because Sundar Singh does not baptize but preaches the gospel only. Yet he may know that by his means hundreds of souls are brought to Christ, of whom he has no personal knowledge. O Christians, what visionary Christ are you following? This is the following of the living Christ, O Hindu sadhus, who lie about the palaces of the rich merchants, regaling yourself in sweet meats in your idleness. Here is a real sadhu, who, sacrificing his life, goes about seeking for the lost sheep in the dens and caves of these mountains. Just think that at the age of 26 years, this exalted service has never been rendered for worldly gain. O Christians, O Hindus, and Muslims, now is your opportunity to secure benefit from companionship with this holy man. Such priceless gem do not continue long in this world, but alas, we generally get awake just when such gems go from us. During this lifetime we oppose them with lengthy discourses, and the acceptance of truth is in such low estate that if we were to rise from the dead and come to his brother, he would not believe. Luke 16:31. I pray God to save me from this deadly condition and give the fellowship of such a holy teacher. In conclusion, I would like to beseech all readers of the Nur, that's N-U-R, Afshan, A-F-S-H-A-N, to pray for me, that I may be able to confess openly my faith in the Lord, signed S. Doss, period. It is rather painful to notice that while the majority of Christians gratefully realize the great worth and value of the life and work of Sundar Singh, there are others, happily very few, who either through prejudice or through sheer ignorancy love to carp and criticize his methods of work and manner of life, while some go so far as even to doubt the very sincerity of his motives. As far as criticism goes, it can do but little harm, for in the words of Robert Sphere, if prompted by a bad spirit, criticism at least shows that the work is conspicuous and sufficiently effective to challenge attention. If by a spirit of religious indifferency or vindictive animosity, the work benefits by the contrast.